Members, my name is Walt Baum. I'm CEO of Powering Texans, and I'm here today testifying neutrally on the implementation of House Bill 1500 charge. As you've heard from the PUC and ERCOT, they are very busy implementing all of the different rulemakings that you had given them. My members are actively participating in that process. One of the biggest key one that we've been focusing on are several of them, but the reliability standard rulemaking we think is extremely critical because that sets the course for other market structure changes that need to be made to meet that reliability standard using the existing ancillary services and the new ancillary services and new products that y'all have passed in recent sessions, like you just heard, DRRS and the PCM. We do think that once they have written all these rules, they will then be able to do the cost-benefit study of using all these tools to figure out the most cost-effective way to meet that reliability standard, to ensure that there's always adequate generation online at prices that work best for the market. And at that point, the PUC will determine the best way forward. We know there's been a lot of talk about growth, and I think it's really important that Texas always continues to send the message that we're open for business, and that my members are up to meet that growth. And I firmly believe that keeping a healthy, competitive generation market is the best way to meet that load going forward. I'm constantly reminded at how close Wall Street watches everything there, that we do and is watching right now. Years ago when I was committee clerking, I remember coming back into the office and having a message on my answering machine from different Wall Street analysts saying, what did you do? What happened on the PUC sunset bill? Now they are watching, these proceedings, as they go. Recently, last week there was a decision made at a PUC meeting, and forward prices dropped in the 15-minute period after that PUC decision was made. So, while these rules, that is just all to say that this market really needs certainty. And what you've heard, all of the amount of work that the PUC and ERCOT are doing in writing these rules, and then if necessary bringing back to y'all what needs to be done is key, because we need certainty, and once there is certainty, investment will follow.
Thank you, Walt. Michelle. Walt?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, Walt Baum, CEO, Powering Texans, here testifying neutrally on 2627 implementation. Earlier this week, like you heard, the PUC announced that it had received applications to finance approximately 38,000 megawatts of dispatchable power generation projects. That figure's lower than the 55,000 megawatts that people turned in their intent to participate in April. But that we think that drop-off is because the application process was very, very, very detailed, as it needs to be, and probably weeded out a lot of applications that probably were never capitalized enough to proceed. But for my part, our four companies, Calpine, NRG, Constellation, and Vistra, all did file their applications by the deadline for over 5,000 megawatts of new gas generation through this fund. My companies have a long track record of building and operating generation in ERCOT, and we do think the PUC should take that into consideration when helping score applications. And as you've heard earlier, from our perspective, the TEF was always meant as a tool to help jumpstart construction in new power plants. But it was, it's one leg of the stool, and the PUC also setting the reliability standard and then setting the services to meet that reliability standard will ensure that this TEF fund is there to help these plants get built, and then these other changes in the market are there to ensure that there's enough revenue to keep these plants online and generating power for a long time. So with that.